If we go to my top viewed video, which is 5 ways to use a single light, that one video alone has gained me 19,500 subscribers. That's how powerful one video could turn on your YouTube channel. In this video, I'm going to be giving you 10 different ways that you can maximize engagement on your YouTube channel right now and enhance your business opportunities in 2021. So let's get into it. Hey everyone, welcome back to the Virtual Photography Show. My name is Tommy Reynolds and I'm a portrait photographer and photographic educator based in Southeast England. And we're going to be giving you 10 different ways that you can improve your YouTube channel. Now, before we start, in case you've never seen any of my videos, I just want to briefly tell you that the type of content that I like to share on my YouTube is one of three things. I like to take people behind the scenes and show you exactly how I did a shoot, how I lit it, and the thought behind it, the how and the why. I like to share tutorials, mainly lighting tutorials. That's kind of what I'm most passionate about, is flash photography. And finally, travel videos. I like to share travel videos as and when I can. Again, taking you behind the scenes, literally taking you over my shoulder and showing you exactly what I get up to when I go traveling. So that's my YouTube, and in the short time that I've had it, I've racked up nearly 50,000 subscribers following these 10 steps that I'm about to show you right now. So let's jump straight into point number one. And being aware of how to title your videos is extremely important. YouTube is the second biggest search engine right now. So if you think about it, people are going to YouTube, and we do it as well. We go to YouTube when we want to find an answer to something. We obviously have Google's number one, but people are now actually going to YouTube and treating YouTube as a Google search. For example, you wouldn't want to have a title of a video saying how I photographed my dog, because it doesn't really answer a lot of people's questions. But if you change the title and it said, for example, 5 tips for photographing bulldogs, that would do a lot better, because people might be searching specifically on how to photograph that breed. You've got the word 5 tips in there, so it's easier to digest. You've got the how I photograph, so that's likely the word and terminology that people are typing in on YouTube. So think about the title, think about the ways that you're typing things into YouTube, and then just reverse engineer that. So that would be tip number one, is the title. Tip number two is create custom thumbnails. Now, this is also really important because, again, like tip number one, this is all part of engaging the viewer to actually click the video. So this is all before you've even started watching the video yet. What I usually do is I find a still from my video that I think tells everything within a frame. If it's not a still frame, then sometimes it's a final shot that I took from that photo shoot, or sometimes it's just a culmination of both. Now, if you're not comfortable or have the time to design your own thumbnails in Photoshop, then there is this software that I was only introduced to recently called Canva. Canva is a brilliant solution to creating custom YouTube thumbnails. It's super easy to add titles, add your images. When you export it, it exports it at the correct size that YouTube wants, at the correct file size that YouTube wants as well. So using Canva would be a great alternative to Photoshop if you want to make a thumbnail really quick and easy. Tip number three, engage the viewer within the first 10 seconds of the video. The last thing you want to do is have a 20-minute video and you don't get to the main bulk of why you're actually answering the question or what the title is until like 5-10 minutes in. That's the last thing you want to do, because people will switch off. People's attention spans are very, very short, especially during a pandemic. So here are some examples of me engaging the audience within the first 10 seconds. And if you remember, I actually did it in this video at the start. Video, I'm going to be taking you behind the scenes and doing a review of one of my favorite modifiers at the moment, which is the Optical Snoop by Pixapro. Hey everyone, my name is Tommy Reynolds, and in this tutorial I'm going to show you 5 different ways that you can reposition your single softbox to create really dramatic and interesting results for your clients every single time. Hey folks, welcome back to the channel. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Tommy Reynolds and I'm a portrait and travel photographer based in Southeast England. And today we're going to be looking at the brand new City 300 Pro from Pixapro. If you're looking for a new portable light source... Now, if you're wondering what to say in the first 10 seconds or exactly how to say it, the likelihood is your title of your video is going to be what you say in that first 10 seconds. If you say what's in your title, you're just confirming to the viewer, okay, this is the right video. I am going to get the answer to the question that I want. Tip number 4 is give your audience a call to action. Now, YouTube actually allows you to do this in a few different ways. You can do it in the form of cards, end screen annotations. You can pin one of your comments in the comment box, or during or at the end of the video, you can invite your viewers to leave a comment below. So the cards are the things you often see popping up in the top right-hand corner, and YouTube allows you to have 5 cards during a video. And the way I like to use cards is I will purposely say something that will relate to a previous video that I've already filmed. So for example, if I'm talking about a particular softbox that I'm reviewing, I will often say, click the link up there and that will take you to a video, 5 ways to use a single softbox. By doing that, that keeps that person on your YouTube, and if you've got the card system in all your videos, then they're just going to circulate your entire YouTube. They're going to stay on your YouTube channel and just bounce between all your different videos. At the end of your video, you can add what's called, I believe they're called end screen annotations, or at least they used to be called end screen annotations. And that allows you again to put links to up to 4 videos at the end of your video. Again, they're just ways for you to click and link back to. You can even tell YouTube to pick a video that will best suit the viewer. So I usually have 2 videos at the end, but one of those links, one of those videos, I'm letting YouTube decide what they think is best for the person watching. And don't forget, the obvious call to action is inviting them to subscribe to your channel. I would generally leave this towards the end of your video. I see people sometimes asking for a subscribe right at the start. Me personally, I would never subscribe to a channel at the very start because I've not received the valuable information that I've come here to get. So I'm not going to subscribe because I haven't yet been validated that this person is going to give me what I want. So that's why I leave it to the very end to invite people to subscribe to my channel. The last call to action I would suggest is, as well as inviting them to subscribe, I would also invite them to leave a comment as well. I might ask, have you ever used a 90cm softbox before? Do you prefer to use a bigger softbox in your work? Have you ever used the Pixapro brand, or do you prefer to use other brands? Just let me know in the comments below. The more people that comment on your video, the more people that will like your video, again, that'll be another one, then the more that video is going to be put in front of more eyes, if that makes sense. Inviting people to leave a comment below brings me on to tip number 5, which is actually read your comments. Treat your comments like gold, because it's in your comments that you will get the ideas for your next videos. People will often ask, oh, that's great, but have you ever used this? Or what's the difference between that and this one? Have you ever considered doing this? So these are going to be the topics of your next videos. This is literally your viewers are giving you gold on a plate. So for example, I went back over 2 of my videos and I managed to pick out across 2 videos, 13 different ideas for new videos that I'm going to do in the future. And if people are asking a fundamental question that you know is very easy to answer, that you might assume people know, then that's the idea for your next video. Tip number 6 is share a teaser of your video to your other platforms. Now, I'm sure you already have a Facebook and an Instagram account. You might even have a Twitter account as well. So when I started on YouTube, to get people to come over to my YouTube platform, I would make a 30-second edit of my video that I would then share on Facebook or Instagram, for example. When you upload a dedicated video to Facebook, that is going to be seen by more people versus just simply sharing the link to your YouTube video to Facebook, because Facebook knows that when people click that link, they will come away from Facebook and go onto YouTube. So the algorithm on Facebook will make sure that that link doesn't get seen by as many people. This is why I make a dedicated 30-second video and upload that directly to Facebook, and then I put the link in the caption. So the algorithm is on your side because you've uploaded the video directly to Facebook or Twitter, for example, and then obviously make sure you have the link in the caption to take them to YouTube and then invite them hopefully to subscribe while they're there. Tip number 7 is pay attention to your analytics on YouTube. This is a really, really important point. This is where you're going to find the answers and the numbers to all of your questions about your YouTube videos. You want to know how well a particular one's doing, how many people are watching it, where in the world are they watching it, what gender are watching it, what's the best part of the video. All of these questions are going to be answered using your YouTube analytics. 5 ways to use a single light, a new way to control your light, 3 ways to up your headshot game, choosing your perfect softbox. When you see data like this, it will give you a very clear indication what type of content is doing well, what people are engaging with. Now this is just scratching the surface. One of my favorite analytics that I can see on here is I can select a particular video and I can see how many people have subscribed to my channel after watching a particular video. If we go to my top viewed video, which is 5 ways to use a single light, that one video alone has gained me 19,500 subscribers based on one video. That's how powerful one video could turn on your YouTube channel. I can also see that most of my audience is from the United States, and I can also see that in the last 90 days, 66% of people that watch my YouTube were not subscribed. So if you're one of those 66% of people that haven't yet subscribed to this YouTube channel, then please do so, and don't forget to hit the bell icon so that you can stay notified every time I upload a new video. You see, I just did a call to action there. Tip number 8 is try to aim to have 4 or 5 videos fully filmed and edited and uploaded and ready to go, because by doing that, it's going to allow you to be consistent. So if you want to aim to do 1 video a week, then you've got a month's worth of content at least right there. It's much better and consistent if you can upload 1 video a month versus uploading 3 in 1 week and then nothing for about 8 weeks. So try to be consistent, have a few videos shot and ready to go, and that's going to be far less stressful and allow you to be more consistent. Number 9, reach out and share your video and use it as a marketing tool. Most people will actually plan the video, do the video, upload the video, and then that's it. They might share it on their Facebook, but that's it. They'll just then hopefully wait for the likes and the comments to roll in. But you're missing a really great opportunity to now use your video that you've made and use it as a marketing tool. So for example, if you're doing a behind the scenes video, then maybe you want to reach out to the brands that featured inside that video. So you could reach out to literally anyone. You could reach out to the people that make the tripods, the camera brands, the lighting company, the softboxes, the people that make the tether cables, the batteries, or the clamps or the backdrops you've used. Literally anything that featured in the video. Doesn't hurt to just reach out to them, engage with them, share them your video. This is exactly how I started working with Pixapro, with MusicBed. I just reached out to them, showed them the video and say, do you guys want to collaborate or work together? And then it would just kind of go from there. That's how the communication and relationship I've had with a lot of brands. Start by reaching out to them on social media. Quite often I'll actually leave a voice note on Instagram. It just shows a little bit more of my personality and engages and starts the conversation that way. So maybe you want to give that a go. Of course, when I do this, I only reach out to brands I truly admire. I never work with a brand just for the money. I will only work with a brand if I truly believe and really like using their product. And finally, tip number 10 is be authentic. This is just kind of following on to what I was just saying in tip number 9 is you've got to be true to yourself. It's all well and good designing and creating a video that you think will do well, but if you just don't have the passion there, if you don't have the passion to do it, then you are literally wasting your time. You will never get as many likes as you want if you have that mentality. So you have to be authentic, you have to be true to yourself and really speak passionately. You've got to do what you're passionate about, because I find passionate people infectious. It doesn't matter what they're talking about. If you're passionate about something, then I will be engaged and I will listen. And don't forget to draw from your own experiences. That's how you're gonna be different on YouTube. So rather than doing a tutorial where you just simply state and list out the settings that you used, draw from your own experiences. Tell me what happened during the shoot. Maybe something went wrong and you had to overcome it in some way. Tell us how you overcome it. You know, the way you think and the way you do what you do is gonna make you different. When you think of your favorite teacher at school, you don't think of the subject, you think of the way he taught it. And it's how you come across, it's the way you communicate your answer to the question that people are searching for on YouTube is going to make you different. If you wanna learn more about finding your own style, then I actually did a talk about this very thing at the last virtual photography show. So I'll leave a card up there and that will take you to my last video I did here talking about how you can find your photography style. Now, as I said at the start of this video, if you want to download this infographic that highlights all 10 points that I've spoken about today, then I will leave a link in the description box below. What's great about this infographic is once you reach number 10, you simply go back to point number 1 when you make a new YouTube video. So as long as you're following all 10 steps, you're well on your way to maximizing your engagement on your YouTube videos. Well, that's all of my 10 tips, guys. Thank you ever so much for listening. I really hope you got something out of this. If you liked it, please make sure you hit the like or share button, or subscribe if you are watching this on YouTube. And as always, I will see you in the next video. Thanks ever so much, guys. Bye-bye. What was that? Good afternoon, everyone. I hope you enjoyed that video. This is now the live Q&A section of this session. So if you guys do have any questions at all about what you've just seen or anything about my work, then please do drop them here. I've got the chat box right here. I can see we've already got one comment coming from Tim Tompkins. Funnily enough, I've just subscribed. It works, folks. Thanks, Tim. Please let me know, actually, if you're thinking of starting a YouTube yourself, or if you've got one right now, then let us know. And guys, if you can hear me, if you can see me okay, I'm sure you can, but just let us know by leaving a comment below so that we can know that this is all working properly. I want to reiterate that last point that I made about being authentic, because I know that it's so easy to get bogged down about all the numbers, and I know that the talk was from a marketing and branding point of view, which is great, but at the same time it's very easy to get stuck and bogged down with the numbers. So I just want to kind of reiterate that you should still make content that feels right and is authentic and is meaningful for you. It's you should get your dopamine hit from the work that you're doing at the time, and not from chasing all the likes and chasing all the comments. And as I said in the video, it's great to pay attention to the analytics, but don't let it run you down or keep checking it every day. I tend to put up a video and then I would generally wait maybe a week or two just to see how the stats are, and then I won't really look again until I post the next video. So I do though have so I did mention that that JPEG that you saw, that roadmap, if you like, for the YouTube. So let me see if I can post that into the chat box here. And okay, so I've just sent that. Hopefully that's a hyperlink. If not, just copy and paste that and you'll be able to download that 1 to 10 roadmap that I did share during the video. So you're the first people to be able to get this. So if you do have any questions, then do let me know in the chat box below. Let me just expand this. Whoop. Okay, we got Guy Walsh. I've joined a little late, so apologies if you already answered this. How do you get off the ground? I currently have 40 subscribers and seem stuck there. No, that's a great question, Guy. I'm doing 90% of your list already. Well, to be honest, when I very first started YouTube, the one tip that I would give you, I'm just trying to see which tip it was. What was it? It was share teasers. So tip number 6 was sharing a teaser. Now, this was a great thing that I did at the start of my YouTube journey. And as I said in the video, if you already have your YouTube and if you already have Facebook and Twitter, this really helped me when I first got off the ground, was sharing teaser videos. So making those 30-second little teaser videos and then sharing them to your social medias and then inviting people to watch the full thing. So as I said in the video, don't just share the YouTube link to Facebook, because the algorithm won't like that. Facebook will know you're being pulled away from facebook.com and they won't like that. So uploading a teaser video directly to YouTube really helped me. So that would be something that I really pay attention to, in particular if you're starting out, is tip number 6. Okay, let me see who else is here. Lizzie Biggs, chat didn't update, got the link. If you, I can send it again, but if you have any questions after this, it's info@tommyreynolds.co.uk. If there are any questions after this, then you can just email me at my personal email there. Sebastian, do you think we can use only a Pika and one V1 flash for most everything. Weddings, studios, portraits. Absolutely, Sebastian. Yeah, absolutely. I won't go too much into detail about lighting during this chat, but absolutely you could. I use a Pica 200 for weddings and a V1 for when I'm just doing on-camera flash stuff, when I want to bounce it on the walls behind me, and I will pull my Pica 200 out when I want to do wedding couple portraits sessions. So you can 100%. They're super portable. I love them. I really recommend them. Who else we got? Holly Wren, great work, Tommy. Love your enthusiasm. It's true. It's infectious. Thank you so much, Holly. Thank you. Holly, are you planning on doing a YouTube channel, starting a YouTube channel? If no, then let us know. And if you are watching and you haven't spoken up, then please don't be shy. I won't bite. It's a great community that we do have here for the photography show. It's so nice that we can do this virtually, and hopefully in September we can all actually do this in person. I can't wait. Hopefully, fingers crossed. Sebastian, if you want to learn a little bit more about lighting in particular, Sebastian, I did a live session yesterday. I believe you can re-watch it now, but it's also available on my own YouTube channel as well, that we posted yesterday, which was 5 ways to use fill lighting. So if you do want to check that out, that is there for you as well. But yeah, guys, if you have any questions about YouTube maximizing your engagement, I really do believe that if it weren't for my YouTube, I wouldn't be where I am today. I owe so many opportunities to having a YouTube channel, which I know sounds really weird. I know it sounds weird that you would rely on that for photography work, but I feel like sharing your creative process on YouTube has so many benefits, not only creatively fulfilling, but also financially beneficial as well. Do you know what? I actually gave a talk about this very thing at the virtual show back in September last year, talking about the importance of behind the scenes and the financial benefit of that as well. Hopefully I'll be doing a talk in September talking even in more detail about the financial benefit, but I feel like at this stage people are more interested in how I shoot something and not what I shoot. And I think that there's a nice balance there between sharing your work, showing the creative process and the final product. I think I said it in Holly Wren, in the process, recording videos to have my flow ready. Great. Holly, are you specializing in anything in particular? Let me know. Is it tutorials, or is it what kind of photography are you into? Because that's what you should be making videos about, something that you're genuinely passionate and interested in. Sebastian, great work. Great, Tommy, thanks. One last, I'm quite hesitant for the Pixapro background. Is it a huge difference between the Gravity one, almost 400, and the normal one, more like 200? Thanks again. Yeah, great question, Sebastian. So I know that when you buy from Gravity, they have obviously a much larger selection, much larger range. Pixapro have only just started producing their own units, making their own, so that their units are quite limited. But the big difference is I found that the Pixapro ones have more texture. It's almost it's more grainy. It's more what's the word? It's just got a lot more detail and more texture. And I know that some people prefer Gravity because it's a little bit more subtle, which is good if you're using wider focal lengths. But I actually think that the grittier ones, like the Pixapro ones, could be beneficial if you are using longer focal lengths. So I had actually an interesting chat about this in particular with a guy who makes hand-painted backdrops based in Manchester. And when he was asking me what kind of backdrops do you like, he then asked me, what focal lengths do you shoot with? And I thought, why is that important? Why do you need to know what focal length? And he said, well, if you're someone that shoots portraits a lot with a 200mm lens, you're obviously going to have a shallower depth of field, which means if you have a more subtle texture, you're not really going to see it because it's going to be blurry. So if you're someone that shoots headshots maybe with 200mm focal lengths, then maybe to help decide which backdrop you want, maybe you want to go with something a bit more grittier. So just worth bearing in mind if you are making a selection and a choice with your backdrops. Liza, how do you go about creating personal projects and getting good behind the scenes footage of shoots? how do or did you find a team to work with? I've been toying with the idea of a channel, but keep putting it off because of doubt and fear. Liza, I totally empathise with you. Do you know what? I've been going through a bit of a tough time when it comes to confidence in myself. I think lockdown has done that to a lot of people. But first of all, to answer your question, so how do you go about creating personal projects? One of the first personal projects I made was I interviewed my nan. I interviewed my grandmother. And I think that is a really good place to start if you are watching this and wondering where to start with your personal work. Start from home. That's a great place to start. Again, I did a talk about this very thing at the last virtual show, and I even shared some of those clips from that interview with my gran and other clips from other personal projects as well. Again, if you want to see all of that, just go over to my YouTube and you can see all of that stuff there. I think it was called Sharing Your Creative Process, I believe was the title of that video. But I think, Lizzie, you would really enjoy that video, so please do check that out. I'll try and see if I can find it whilst I'm talking at the same time and share it here with the questions. To answer your next question, how to get good behind the scenes footage of shoots. You really don't need to be worried and bogged down about making sure you have a professional camera operator to film slow motion, beautiful behind the scenes content, because at the end of the day, it's all about the content. It's all about the context. You really don't have to have a professional on set. I started doing travel videos with a GoPro attached to my backpack pointing at the back of my head. And I had a little compact camera, which was this camera I'm shooting actually with here. Everything was shot in auto. You really don't need to worry about shooting everything in manual in video if you're just starting out, because I appreciate that it's a little bit of a different beast when you're dealing with video versus photography. But don't be too worried. If even just doing a time lapse from the corner of the room and maybe freezing it, maybe zooming in, and maybe just talking over the top of it, even that I would still watch. You're still giving people content. They're able to see what you used in the shot, how you interact with the model, how you interact with the team, seeing the ambient light and then cutting to the image that you shot. People will appreciate how you took the ambient and changed it if you are using flash. So even just something as simple as a time lapse can really tell the story. So don't be too bogged down about the gear and how professional it looks. In terms of the team, I have just got really, really lucky. I have an amazing group of friends around me who most of the time give up their time and help me out for free. I do now have a videographer who I do pay because he now does it professionally, so it's only fair if he's a freelancer himself that I pay him what pay him his worth. But he has been with me from right from the beginning. But what a lot of people don't realize is I still edit all of the footage myself, and that's purely because I guess you could say I'm a perfectionist, but I also have a background in TV and film production as well at university, so I enjoy editing, and then it still feels like it's come from my hand, even the video editing side of things. So I'm sure you've got friends around you who are willing to help you out, and those friends have just stuck around, and they've become part of my team. I don't really call them the team, I just call them my go-to friends who always help me out on shoots, and I'm very grateful for them. I hope that answered your question. Tim, any chance you can put the Q&A on your YouTube site, please? I'm having a buffering issue and have missed a lot. Yes, absolutely. I did have a chat with the photography show team. I believe that it's you'll be able to rewatch it if you missed it on here on this platform, so don't worry, but it will be available on my YouTube channel very soon. I believe I'm going to wait about 30 days and then I'll be given the go ahead to then share it on my own YouTube platform, but you should be able to rewatch it here if you have missed it. All right, okay. We got our regulars here. We got Holly, Tim and Sebastian here. Okay, sorry, Mark, I missed your question. I'm just scrolling up. Any suggestions about using other social media to drive traffic to YouTube? For now, I just use Vimeo for distributing for non-profit. Yeah, absolutely. Vimeo's great. Vimeo's good. I hear that. Excuse me. Personally, I still enjoy YouTube because if you think about it, it's next to Google, it's the biggest search engine in the world. So it's the second biggest search engine in the world. People are turning to YouTube as a search engine when they want to find out something. So they treat YouTube like Google. Vimeo, people aren't treating Vimeo like that, which is why that YouTube is my go-to. Now, if you want to use Vimeo, that's absolutely fine. That's great if it's your chosen platform. But personally, if you're going to drive people in, then simply use the social media platform that's doing well for you. So you might not have a great following on Facebook, but you might have a better following on Twitter. Use Twitter. Utilize whatever social media platform that you have, or just mix it all up. So I just share my teaser videos to all of my platforms and invite everyone to come to my YouTube channel. And that's just purely because I'm using it's my strength. If you're a writer, you're probably using Twitter. If you're a photographer, you'll obviously have Instagram, and definitely share it to Instagram, your teaser videos with Instagram TVs or just stories. Or if you're happy to put it on your grid, then do that. Lizzie, and it's run and advertised by Google displays, so hardly surprising it's a Google alternative. Plus YouTube hits are high on Google results now. 100% right, Lizzie. And that is why YouTube is a good way of getting business as well. I've actually some of my biggest clients I've got. So I was so lucky to work with Olympus and the National Lottery a couple of years ago, and they found me on YouTube, which I never thought was ever going to happen. I never thought that would be a thing. But so the way I got it was, again, I mentioned travel videos before. I also mentioned that everything was shot in auto with GoPros and compact cameras in, nothing fancy, but they really enjoyed the way I told the story. So just to reiterate, you don't need high-end expensive gear. So guys, if you want to check out my travel videos, again, they're on my YouTube. There's a playlist of all my travel work, but they found me because they saw my travel work, because they were after a travel photographer in particular. And when they reached out to me, they said, Tommy, it's Seba here from the National Lottery, Camelot. And in that instant, I thought, oh my God, I've won. And it was like, no, we saw your work on YouTube and wondered if you'd want to be interested in this project. I'm like, sorry, you found me on YouTube. Like, I didn't think people like you were finding people on YouTube, but they are. They are. Utilize YouTube. It can really benefit you, not only from a creative fulfillment point of view, but also from a financial point of view as well. Claire Silver, what audio microphone do you now use if you're on location? I've been looking at the Rode range for desks and have an on-camera or on the actual person. Do you use microphones on people if you are recording an event that will go on YouTube after an edit? Yes, absolutely. So I like to use the Rode SmartLabs. I actually got the Rode SmartLab Plus, which was originally designed to just go in iPhones in the old headphone jacks. But I had to get an adapter for it. It's an SC3 adapter, which will allow you to plug it into like Zoom H1s. I don't know if I've got one here because it's still packed from yesterday's shoot. But you can plug it into a Zoom H1, which is inexpensive. It's about £100. Or you can maybe invest in the Rode Wireless Go. Now that might be a better alternative. It's a tiny bit more expensive, but that could be a better option because you can plug the receiver straight into the microphone jack on your camera, which means no syncing, no editing of the audio in time. You don't have to worry about any of that stuff. So that could be an alternative for you to use on location. The range is really good. It needs a bit of EQing. So in Premiere or Final Cut, it just needs, it's a little bit, what's the word? It's a little bit kind of flat. So just give it a little bit of bass, a little bit of treble in the edit. And it's a really great system. Not too expensive either. So I'd recommend the Rode Wireless Go or the Rode SmartLab Plus plugged into a Zoom if you do want to keep it external. Some people like to keep it separate. So that would be an option if you want to keep it separate. Sebastian, I don't know if it's the right moment to ask for technical questions, but I'll go for it. In the background on your YouTube video, is it the... oh, good question. Sebastian, I'm not 100%... No, it's not. It's that was a Gravity background actually. It wasn't a Pixar Pro background. It was a Gravity background. I don't know the exact product code, but I will find out for you. And if you email me in this chat, info@tommyreynolds.co.uk, then you can then I'll answer you then. So just drop me an email, remind me who you are, and I'll give you the code. But it was actually a Gravity one, not a Pixar Pro one. Okay, sorry guys, I just have to hit refresh every time to see the new chat. Lizzie, how's the closed caption thing work for people who need sound off but watching? So Lizzie, you can when you upload a video, YouTube will automatically listen to your video, and it will do what's called an auto-generated captions. But if you want to add them in yourself, then you could if you wanted to. It's in your YouTube Studio mode. So you go into YouTube Studio where you edit your video. That's where you edit the title, the description, the tags, and there should be an option there for captions. So when you go into that, you have the ability to literally write down everything that was said. But if you're not comfortable, if you don't want to do that, I use a company called rev.com, and you send them a link to your video, and they will do the hard work for you. And I think it's so many dollars per minute, but on average, forget the name. So rev.com, and it is $1.25 per minute. That's how much you'll be charged. So they'll instantly look at it. So it's, so quite often I will, in fact, more often than not, I will use Rev because I don't want to sit down and type it all. So, and also it's actually good from an algorithm point of view. I didn't mention this in the video. This is like a really nitpicky one, but if you have subtitles on your videos, the algorithm will do slightly better because you're tailoring to a market of people who might be deaf, or the convenience of people commuting, so that they know they're getting the accurate subtitles. So use rev.com if you want to then send your unlisted videos before they go live to Rev, and then what they do is they'll send you just a file, and when you go into your YouTube Studio mode, go into the captions, there'll be an option there to upload. I think it's a .srt file, and that is the subtitle file. You upload that and boom, it will instantly be in line, in sync, and it was done. You do have an option to check it as well. You've got the option to go online and check on rev.com if they have done it correctly, which 99.9% of the time they will get it accurately. It's not a robot, it's someone actually sitting there and doing it for you. So rev.com if you want accurate captions, and it will do slightly better from a algorithm point of view. Claire Silver, do YouTube have a set quantity of adverts for any broadcast? Does the broadcaster have any control as to how many ads and what is advertised between their broadcast duration? 100%. Yes, you do have control. So it's called monetization. Now you need to be hitting a certain number of subscribers before you can monetize your channel and start making money from it. Do you know what? It changes every time. So let me see if I can how to monetize your channel. Now they keep changing the rule on YouTube about what is needed to enable you to monetize, because I think it used to be 100 subscribers. Now I think it's so many subscribers, and you have to have so many hours of watch time on your channel before you can start monetizing it. So let's see if I can find it while I'm on chat to you. It will be in YouTube help if I can't find it here, but to answer your question, yes, if you once you do monetize it, you do have the ability to control where the ads are placed, if you want them at the start, at the end, in the middle. I think you have to have a video longer than 10 minutes or 15 minutes to have adverts in the middle of it. If it's shorter than that, you only have the option to have them at the start and end. In terms of what gets advertised, that is something you don't have control over, because the adverts are tailored to the person watching. So you can't choose what gets advertised to them. It's tailored to what their interests are and what they've been clicking on in and around Google. So I hope that answers your question. So just going to double check how long we've got left, because I've been Okay, guys, so we're coming to the end. I've only got about a minute or so. So just to reiterate, if there are any last questions, but if not, if I don't get a chance to answer your question, then do just follow me on Instagram or Facebook or YouTube. My email is info@tommyreynolds.co.uk. I did leave it in the chat here. I think the reason why people love your channel, me included, is definitely the authenticity. Almost no one admits weakness, the difficulty of the process like you did, and it's definitely helped and great for everyone to admit that we're not perfect, even with 10 years of experience. Thanks so much, Sebastian. I really appreciate that. And it's so true. You've got to be authentic. You've got to be honest. I love the quote from Brené Brown when she says, vulnerability is not a weakness, it's a strength. And again, I did a video on this very topic about vulnerability and sharing your creative process. So if you go onto my YouTube channel, just type Tommy Reynolds and you'll find that video. It's called Share Your Creative Process. There's another one, The Importance of Behind the Scenes. A lot of reference from today as well you can find in that I think you guys would really like. But that's about it from me. I've got to go now. We're going to head over to the next session. But I really enjoyed it, and I hope to see you guys real soon. Thanks ever so much. Bye bye.